Crunch time here on The Jump. Tough news out of Portland. Man, this stunk last night. Blazers center Jusuf Nurkic fractured his right wrist. Say that 6 times fast. Third quarter of last night's game against
right
the
there?
Blazers. Yeah.
Oh, man, that's tough. I feel bad for Nurk, man. He's dealing with injuries his pretty much his whole career.
Dang, man. Portland, I was just excited to see them fully loaded, and he was starting to come back because he's such a big part of making those other guys better.
Yeah.
You know, he's their Jokic.
Yes.
And to not have him, that's a tough blow. Tough blow.
I mean, obviously, they're used to adapting without him in the lineup now, but again, yeah, it's a competitive Western Conference too, guys, and obviously, whatever time he misses, that's ground that you've lost.
Less games this year, too?
There you go.
That's tough.
Time for our League Pass game of the weekend. Magic versus Nets on Saturday at 6 Eastern. Yes, James Harden expected to make his Brooklyn debut. And Kyrie Irving could be available as long as he continues to clear COVID-19 protocols. Our Adrian Wojnarowski reporting Kyrie will play tomorrow. Here is Steve Nash on Harden today.
Offensively is going to be a challenge just to figure out how these parts fit. It's a great problem to have because they're all extremely talented offensive players. I think defensively, they also are very capable. The big three are capable defenders. They're intelligent and experienced players. So while we have to go down this path and figure out what the best way to defend is with this group, I do think that there's more potential than maybe people assess from the outside on paper.
So I love the question I'm about to ask next. Shout out to our producers. Coach Fizz, does the trade for James Harden make Steve Nash's job easier or harder?
It's a toss-up in some ways. Like, you obviously see all the talent and you say, yes, it's easier, but it's just not easy. You got to really, when we talked about sacrifice earlier, you really got to get these guys to understand how they have to impact the game while at the same time letting other people bring their ego to it too. So I think that's the tough part, is really getting guys to understand that and how to fit that in systematically. And I think Steve is right. When you got smart guys who are capable of defending systematically, if you put them in the right places, they should be able to defend, especially when you got 2 champions and a couple MVPs in that group. So again, the sacrifices that need to be made will be the most important thing. But I think it's a toss-up between if his job is harder or easier.
What do you think, Paul?
I believe that Steve Nash has the toughest job in America right now. Because for one, you have to earn the respect of your star players. Coming into this, Kyrie didn't respect Steve Nash. He came out and said, look, we don't need him to coach. He's pretty much the face of the sideline. And he took back those words. 2, you got to put in a system to where you can make all these guys happy. 3, you got to manage egos. 4, there's expectations. When you get these capital players, you have expectations. It's championship or bust. No coach has ever been put in this situation of recent memory with this task at hand in your first job as a head coach ever.
Right.
And so to me, this is one of the more difficult jobs in America.
I'm going to just check you and say, hardest job in American sports right now?
American sports.
Right. Because we obviously
sports.
have some
in sports. Only in sports.
healthcare workers,
Only in the
teachers
sports.
doing harder work right now, but which
Only
I know
in
you
sports.
meant. I know you meant that. Go ahead.
Absolutely, but I think, the point that you made that I think is really important in this whole thing is what Steve Nash has to do right now. He's doing it without training camp. You said that during the break, and I thought that was a critical point. He doesn't have a camp to get these guys all clicking and rolling. They're in the middle of the season. And I don't know, Paul, you asked me this question during the break, have we ever seen an MVP traded in season? And this is the first time I think we've ever seen this. So, yes, his job is difficult, but boy, that's a good problem to have. You got some firepower over there, and they will definitely be in the race to win a title.
Steve gave some good insight into his process in that press conference today. He said you got to basically strip it down, get everyone in the same room and say, are we all on the same page in terms of our motivation, which is, of course, winning a title. And once you start from there, that's how you slowly build. Well, we're going to get there by doing this, and then maybe the next game you build one more layer. We're going to get there by doing that, and that's how you kind of work in the sacrifice element because you keep reminding guys, well, we're all in the same goal. How did Doc do it with you?
I mean, it was easy. We were all almost in the twilight of our career. We just wanted to win at that point. I was 30, KG was 31. Ray was 32.
It's similar
we're at the
to
point
the ages here, right?
But Kyrie has won and KD has won.
But James
it's all
hasn't.
on Harden right now.
Yep, and I asked him that, how important it was to him, and he's, pretty important to him, so we'll see as he goes there. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.